When I was in LA last weekend, I had a couple guys that came from my hometown that I haven't seen since the 70s. They grew up, they were a couple grades ahead of me, and they yelled out the name of the street I grew up in on Fairport, New York. And they came backstage after, and we were talking, and they heard me talk about our music program. And I talked about how we had 11 full-time music faculty. The head of the music department in Fairport, his name was Mo Sherrill at the time. Mo had a doctorate from the Eastman School of Music. Everyone in the 11 full-time music faculty had master's degrees at least. They were spread out through all the different schools in the district. So my high school had 2,100 students. My graduating class was 650. Out of that, we had an orchestra, we had wind ensemble, we had concert band, and we had jazz ensemble. That's in the high school. Kids beginning in third grade started on strings, which I did on the cello, but everyone got their own private music lesson on their instrument every week. Okay, so they paid for this. This is why they needed 11 full-time music faculty, because they were very committed to music. We always had the best orchestra, the best concert band and jazz ensemble in New York State growing up. That was just the thing. Our high school principal, Mr. Cook, when our orchestra director was sick or the band director was sick, he would come in and conduct the orchestra, and you wouldn't screw around when he was doing it. He was a serious dude. But he was a former music teacher. How many high school principals are former music teacher? So beyond that, my parents were really supportive about music. You guys know my whole background with this. I started taking guitar lessons when I was a teenager. I started on the cello and then the bass, but then the guitar is when I really started getting into it. And I took lessons at a place called Rizzo Music. There's this guy, Tom Rizzo. I used to mow his lawn. He told me he owned a music store and I should take lessons there. So I went in to take lessons. They had 6 or 7 guitar teachers there and 1 bass teacher. And my mom would drive me and my younger brother John there and wait in the car, even in the winter time, and we would each have a half-hour lesson, and then she'd drive us home. This was in addition to taking my bass lessons in school once a week and playing in the orchestra. I also played in the wind ensemble. So then I started playing in bands. Now I'm playing sports at the same time. My parents never had time to drive us anywhere. They worked all the time, except for those lessons when my mom would drive us on Wednesdays to our guitar lessons. She'd drive us before she went to work, because she worked the night shift, and she'd get off at 1:30 in the morning. So my mom and dad, whatever we did with the 7 kids, my parents were supportive of. They just told us we could do anything, which is why when I was 54, I started this YouTube channel, because I wasn't afraid to try something new. And this is one of the best gifts that you can give your kids. In addition to encouraging them to take music lessons, just be encouraging in general and give them the confidence to do the things, to do anything. My parents treated us all equally. We treat our kids equally. Whether they're into music, whatever they're into is what we're into. We want them to be just whatever they're passionate about, you encourage them. But the idea of growing up with this, I didn't realize that I was born in this town, this small town in upstate New York that had this huge music department. I only realized that when I went to college, and other kids that I went to college with are like, what? You had 11 full-time music faculty in your high school or in your school system? I'm like, yeah. You had private lessons? What? So yeah, well, I took lessons outside of school, as did most of the people. Most people did. They took private lessons outside of school as well. So they do 2 lessons a week. It's hard to fathom now. And I'm playing in bands in high school. And I'm playing sports. So I'm playing basketball. I'm running track. I wait after school. I do my practices. I walk home. And then I would go to band practice at night. Go to my friend Pete's house. We'd rehearse at his dad's church. And I played gigs. So this is kind of my growing up. My parents supported me as far as the, being behind anything I did, even when I was a college professor. I remember one time when I was 25, they came to Ithaca College where I was teaching, and they sat in through all my classes. I remember telling some of my students, listen, my parents are going to be here, so make sure you guys are on the best behavior. Now looking back on it, it's like, what teacher, college professor brings their parents in to watch them teach? But my parents were totally into it, and I was so happy to have them be there and see me do this. This is kind of the fruits of their support with me being a musician. This was great. My parents loved this. They never forgot that. Through the rest of their lives, they never forgot that. They always would talk about it. It meant so much to them. If you're a parent and you have little kids, babies, whatever, play them great music. Even if you don't have the resources to give them music lessons when they're 5 years old, there are free things that are on the internet. It's one of the reasons I created my YouTube channel, is to give people the resources to learn music for free. And there's plenty of great music education that is right here on YouTube to learn from. I always played my kids really adult music. Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, Chopin, Keith Jarrett, Oscar Peterson, Joe Pass. I would play the best rock music, the Beatles, Pink Floyd, the Rolling Stones. Always played great music. I didn't play Baby Shark. Nothing wrong with Baby Shark. I love Baby Shark, actually. But my kids listened to what I called high information music, like really things that change keys and things like that, film scores. I tried to give them the richest environment in which to learn music. And then where they take it from there is up to them. Because ultimately, people need to decide what they want to do and what they're passionate about, your kids, whoever. But it's as far as I'm concerned, it's my responsibility and my wife's responsibility to just provide an environment for learning. And music is something that's really gotten shortchanged in our public schools over the last 30 years. And I would not be here if it wasn't for the fact that I was born into this town that really thought highly of music education and put their money behind it. In addition to the 1,000+ free videos that I have here on my YouTube channel talking about music, teaching about music, I also have 3 educational courses that I've developed. My Beato Book Interactive, which is a music theory course with videos and audio examples, my Beato Ear Training, and my Quick Lessons guitar course. This is the way that I've thought to give back to people through the great fortune I've had in having a great music education, and why this is so important. So really appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Take care.